The all-new 2018 Toyota Camry is about the furthest thing from a Camry you can imagine.
Get ready to love it for all the wrong reasons.
Love lesson number 9, how to see the big picture in your new Camry.
I'm listening.
Recline your power seat. Turn on that available premium JBL audio with Clarify and look skyward through your Camry's available panoramic glass roof. Then give it a friendly wave.
What's up, Mother Nature?
The all-new 2018 Toyota Camry, you're gonna love it.
For all the wrong reasons, baby.
Toyota, let's go places.
Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the War Room. We got Dez, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the Hot Block Commander. How you want it in the morning, 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Roll with the topic, sorta like some rebels. When it's game time, they like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4 for 26, so the war in Kuwait. It's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys, diversified and educated. What's good, everybody? Guess what? You're back in the War Room. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to those we haven't spoke to. Listen, I'm one of your hosts right now. This is Jimmy the Blueprint, and I'm building with my brother B. Austin. Philmatic from Tissue and the Tape fame should be on with us very soon. Listen, man, the New Year has come and it's gone. You know, we talked a little bit last week about the New Year, but just want to remind everybody, man, Happy New Year. It's a new time to, give all your fake goals and say what you're going to do and what you're not going to do or what have you.
What you're going to take,
we're right
what
back
you're not
here
going
as
to take.
always because we are never going anywhere. You know what I mean, B. Austin?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so with that being said, man, listen, keep it locked right here because we're going to go for 2 hours of nothing but amazing, amazing sports talk. And if you want to, you could join us in the JW Philly Realty chat room, and that could be found at blogtalkradio.com/the War Room. You can open that up now. You can hit us up on Facebook or Twitter. That's at War Room Sports, as it always is. In about 10 minutes, we're going to open up the Digital Extreme Technologies hotline. That number is 323-410-0012. And during the week when we're not live on the air, check everything we do, all of our shows, our mobile apps, blogs, podcasts, anything right at the hub, which is warroomsports.com. What's good, everybody? I mean, Happy New Year to you, B. Austin. What's good, man? You good?
Blessed and highly favored. Selassie I.
You already know. So, Mac, you with us?
Yo, what's good, fellas? Happy New Year.
It's a good day for Virginia. It's a good week for Virginia. You know what I'm saying? It's a good week. My man Shaquan the Destroyer.
He definitely let him know what's good in 2 up, 2 down.
Listen,
listen,
brother,
man. He let his hands go. If he let his hands go like that with the wrap up, we probably wouldn't even be hearing him let his hands go like this because it's something kind of stuff. But anyway,
don't do that.
Yeah, man. Lenny Grant gonna have to turn in his size 55 New Era fitted if he don't respond,
What can he?
He can't respond. What are you gonna do?
Be real, yeah. Jimmy hit it on the head.
He gonna have to catch a case.
What can he say?
Yeah. He
can't rap.
He gonna have to take it to the streets. He gonna have to go to East New York.
He can't. He gonna have to ad lib him to death because that's all he good for. To let him ad lib. But other than that,
whoa.
Other than that, I don't know. Like, it's one of those jokes. Like, what can you really do, though? You know what I'm saying? It's like Mike Tyson this prime. If he just walk up to you and punch you, like, what are you really going to do? Not calling the ball Mike Tyson this prime because that's disrespectful to Mike Tyson this prime. But the fact of the matter is, the board does.
But he did get misgreened, though.
The
boys in the league. Yeah, but what was Miss Green supposed to do though? You gotta just take that. Sometimes you gotta take that L, dog. Like you gotta say, look, you know what I mean? I just take this L. Like,
Lenny might have to take that L. Well, he already started taking the L when he started calling himself Lenny Grant. But that's these bars,
you just gonna have to suck it up and deal with. Listen, man, on a more somber and serious note, man. I don't know if I'm starting to enter that midlife crisis phase. I'm not quite a man yet because I'm not 40. But whoever thought that we would be able to see the year 2018? Like I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, we in 2018, B.
Yeah, y'all brothers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Long in the tooth, pause.
Don't do that. They long in the tooth. I'm a young boy. I'm the young OG.
Listen, man, I forgot you the young OG. My bad, B. Austin.
Since
you know
Lenny
what,
can
listen,
Brody
man.
stuff, I'm Brody and young OG. That's me.
You know, where I come from, yo, making it this age is a blessing, man. Like, yo, you know,
Who
cats
you telling?
making their wills at 18s, to quote, Jay-Z before he got gentrified.
Hey, man, don't act like we don't come from the same place. I mean,
Yo, we all from that place.
No, I get that, but that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, cats like, damn, man, you are like, look, listen, I'm with all that. Like, I appreciate that. That's a compliment and a blessing.
Peep game, in the grand scheme of things, we all still relatively young men, and we all got homies that been dead longer than 20 years. How about that?
Absolutely. That's
crazy.
It's to the point, man. Like, I was looking at like a picture. Someone else had posted a picture of like played on like this basketball team, like 8 to 12. So I was a young boy, like 8 years old or whatever. Yo, and we had like 10 cats on the team, dog. Only like 3 of us is either alive or not in jail.
Wow.
And I'm like, yo, cats is either like, somewhere 6 feet or like, one boy doing like, a couple lights, but it's like, I'm looking at that like, damn.
Yeah, that's
anyway, man.
Future picture where people start fading away.
Yo, it's funny, but it's not funny. It's funny, but it's not funny.
Yo.
Hey, brother B. Austin, you got the boards in front of you, man?
Absolutely.
Do me a favor, man. Open up the chat room, man. 'Cause I know Scott was trying to get up in the chat room, and on my side, I couldn't get that thing. So make sure you open up the chat room for me, just so Scott can get in there and get his rap on, man. But other than that, man, though, I definitely want to thank Phil Maddox before we jump into today's festivities for joining us, man. He's always a podcast legend. Doug, you want so many podcasts at this point, I don't even know. Like, you Tissue and the Tape is the main one, but On the Couch with the
They got one with the champ.
On the couch about to re-up, man. We just watched Love and Hip Hop Miami. I wasn't ready, yo. Y'all was supposed to warn the boy, man. Y'all let me walk into that. I was like, whoa. What did I
I'm gonna tell you something, man.
Pretty Ricky.
Listen, man. I'm in my life, man. Everybody knows me as like the dude that loves to read books, but I also like ratchet TV. So I do enjoy myself some Love and Hip Hop in the middle of reading novels. And listen, man, to be honest with you, Philmatic, I know this is not really the place for this conversation, but I don't know how much I'm gonna like Miami, man, because I feel like they gentrified my man, what's his face, Ross's homie, Gunshot.
Gunplay?
Gunshot, right?
Oh, Gunplay. Oh, yeah,
We
yo.
called the boy Gunshot.
Gunshot. Yo, it's a little gunshot or a young gunshot out here too. You know what I'm saying? That's BRC. This is hip hop in 2018. Like, this is young and little everything. So I'll get them all confused. But anyway, Gunplay is coming off a little gentrified to me, man.
Yeah, and I
man,
know
he's
why
not
you're
the
saying
same
that
gangster, man.
Because we've encountered Gunplay about 4 or 5 years ago, and he was one of them dudes that you had to step to the side and apologize for if you with him. Like, yo, my homie, he don't get out much. I apologize.
I was telling them, I was like, yo, if they don't have a scene of him like snorting a line of coke or he don't get arrested for the season is out, this whole show is false. So once I saw
that the term "respect the shooter" was created for,
once I saw that he was like on his best behavior and gentrified, he trying to cross over to a new fan base, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this, man. But that's neither here nor there, man. Listen, we gotta jump into
real
some of these
quick,
topics that we gotta talk about. What's up?
What's the odds on Trick Daddy starting in Bright 2? Because he looked like one of them orcs. Listen.
Uncle Trick Daddy?
I was letting all my Trick Daddy hands, like slander hands, go until I realized he was really sick. Like, because I was like, yo, this boy's on drugs, something wrong with him.
What do you mean he's really sick? He got that thing?
No, what I mean by he's really, I don't know about that. That's what Ross said, but I don't know about that. But according to what I read, like, he got a lupus or something.
Yo, man. Rest in peace to all the lupus survivors. Listen, man, we got to get into these hot topics which are brought to you by Sports the Book.
But hold on, B. Austin. We definitely going to do it in there, but I want to say one thing I read, though. They said that the boy not only does he have lupus, but he refuses treatment because he said that the lupus treatment that the country gives is a Ponzi scheme. That's either here nor there. My thing is, whatever he chooses to do, that ain't working.
Yo, to our audience, we apologize, but we do this for the culture. So even though I'm trying to move us along, let me just digress a little bit. First of all, I'm not talking about Trick Daddy any longer because my man is the originator of the Eat a Booty gang, and he speaks about it proud. I can't even really talk about Ak no more. So as we move along,
groceries, though.
Yo, B. Austin, you trying? No, man, let me shut up, man. Let's move on, man. Hot topics are brought to you by Sports the Book.
Bria, probably. Go ahead, man. Keep going,
I was about to say, so if Juju pull up, you ain't going, never mind. Tired of reading the same old sports book with the same title, sports list rankings, imaginary starting lineups, and all sorts of subjective information being passed off as facts. Listen, this is the greatest sports book ever written. It's the Illmatica Sports Book. And guess what? It supports War Room Sports. So copy it at sportsthebook.com or go right to warroomsports.com. Do not miss the movement. We got to get the brother Gus Griffin on, man, because, his season, let's just say he had a season. His season's over at this point, but we want to see if we can get the good brother on real quick and talk about his picks. But before I check for the brother Gus Griffin.
If you can slander down, you can also congratulate, man. Salute to Gus on last week because these are the weeks that we expected him to have. I don't know if this is an outlier or an anomaly, but my man Gus Griffin went 7-2 last week, man. Now he's still 37, 41-2 overall, but 7-2 is big, bro. 7-2 is big. Pause.
Yeah, but we'll see because now we're moving into like you said, B. Austin, what really matters. So let's get Gus on the line, and Gus, let's see what Gus has to say about his season and also what he can do in what's considered the second season. Gus, what's going on?
Investment picks.
I am well.
Last week, though. Last week, you
doggone right. I expect as much encouragement as I got death threats for the last month or so.
No doubt.
I don't even mind telling y'all where I'm at this time.
No, don't do that. 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 No, don't do that.
Take that up, buddy.
I can't, Gus. I can't hold my homies that act like gunplay back, man. Don't tell it. Don't say nothing.
Hey, but Gus, though. I want to get right into it because a couple of y'all, I definitely want to hear your perspective. Like, for one, we got the Panthers, which are +7 at the Saints. Where are you going with this one?
Plus, I take the Panthers. It's very hard to beat a good team 3 times in a season, and in the NFL, the only way you see a team 3 times in the season is if it's in the playoffs, which means they're by definition a pretty good team. There isn't a great deal of difference. I do think the Saints are a slightly better team, more well-rounded, but in one game, controlled environment, I think Cam Newton can actually win this game. At the very least, cover the 7.
Okay.
I've added one more. I've added one more since I initially sent this to Devin, and that's I think the Chiefs are going to roll. I know it's 9. That's a big number, but I think they're going to roll. Murray is not 100%, and so we don't know we just don't know what Tennessee's going to be. I would pull the trigger.
Wide margin.
Chiefs going to roll by at least 10 points. I thought about taking the Jaguars, but the unique thing about this weekend, this wildcard weekend, you got 4 quarterbacks who've never been there, and that's a wild card. You never know. Even the great Peyton Manning, as great as he was during the season, his play always dropped in the playoffs. And it's not just in football. You can go to baseball. Clayton Kershaw is the best pitcher in baseball, except when the postseason starts. So you never know what you're going to get. But Alex Smith has been there, so I'm going to
It's a whole different thing in terms of pressure.
It's a whole different thing.
With bringing their best,
a whole different thing.
I'm going to stick to Alex Smith.
Huh?
Now, here's the thing, though.
What was that?
Would be awesome. I don't know.
I think you're going to stick to Alex Smith as if he's not a plum. But go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, Alex Smith has actually had some pretty good playoff games against the Saints when he was with San Francisco, and it wasn't his fault they lost that playoff game to the Colts. That was 100% on their defense. So I mean, he's not elite, but he's having his best year, and he's had success in the playoffs.
All right, but here's the game I really want to get your perspective on, because this is the college national championship game, and Georgia is getting 3.5 versus Bama, who some people don't even think should have been there, but they're there nonetheless. Where are you going with on this game?
I'm taking Georgia with the 3.5. Alabama's, and I've got a piece coming out about Nick Saban. What he does is beyond explanation, year in and year out. So hopefully that'll be out in the next day or two. But Georgia they probably got 3 or 4 on the back, professional running backs. That's clear, okay? And Alabama's got a lot of injuries on defense. Yes, they played against Clemson, but this is a different animal in terms of the running game. I'm not sure Georgia won't win, but I certainly think they can cover that 3.5.
Okay. And we got a message in from Tobias who said he just wants you to know that messing with your picks, he had to get a title loan to pay his light bill, but he still loves you. He's still gonna ride with you this weekend. But so thanks for the call, thanks for the picks, and we look forward to seeing how you do in the next season. Because if you can go, you can do good in the playoffs, man. You can redeem yourself. But we'll see. Let's see how this plays out.
Hey,
right, I'm
back
to
to love you as a human, if not a handicapper.
Oh, there you go. See, now there you go. See, I'm back to 37, 41, and 2. I can still make it to 500. And when I do,
yes,
I'm going to say I was playing possum the whole year.
Amen.
All right, good brother. Have a good week, man.
All right, brother.
Enjoy your weekend. All right,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So that's guys with his investment picks. Salute to Tobias for the comical. And as a matter of fact, Tobias, I know we got you on the line. I'm going to run through a couple things real quick and bring you on. Tell Master to hold off. But listen, gentlemen, there's a couple things in the NFL, right, that we have to talk about. And one is the NFL Hall of Fame finalists. Who do you guys think should get in? I mean, the big talk is what, T.O. and Moss, and whether one should get in before the other, or should they both get in, or what happened. And we know T.O. is not beloved, and Randy kind of had an image makeover now that he's doing his work post career. But what do you guys think about this? I know B. Doc is getting in. So what do you guys think about the finalists? Is it? You sure?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Wait,
hold on.
Wait,
I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm just saying I don't know if they're going to vote him in first ballot. I think he definitely should.
That's true.
What's wrong with you?
You saying we should get in eventually?
Jimmy, I realize that
just based on past voting habits, I don't think they'll vote him in first ballot.
Is that based on the position he plays, or is that? I mean, because
based
clearly,
on the fact that he was clearly the best at he was among top two.
I'm the name
positions while he played.
I'm gonna name the 5
Here's the thing. Well, before you do that, Beyonce, because I want you to have all the info before you do that, because there's a lot of guys he has to compete with in terms of getting in. And also, when I recognize this past week after seeing him as a finalist, I start to wonder, right? So B-Dog played for the Eagles, and then, they had too much left. He went to the Broncos. And so it's like I'm in this bubble of being in Philadelphia, like in the Broncos or what have you. But I'm starting to realize that
I knew this was coming.
No, because this is my perspective after looking on Twitter and all that, and seeing that. Maybe I'm in a little bubble or something, but he's not getting the respect that I thought that he gets. That he should
it's
get.
A combination. It's a combination of several things. We live in a microwave society, and I would call it the last 5 years of his career, we're in the inception of that microwave society. So the guys that he will compete against, so I named the top safeties of all time in no specific order, but these clearly are the top. Ronnie Lott is by far, to me, the greatest safety ever to walk in the universe. Behind that, Jack Tatum, Ed Reed, the boy that rapes people, Darion Sharpier, and no, really. I mean, if you look at, you're gonna get them people after. And then to round out that list, I would say you're there with either Dawkins or Troy Polamalu. Now, I can make a clear X's and O's case as to why Troy Polamalu is overrated, but from a marketing standpoint, the guys that I named are either better than from the standpoint of Ronnie Lott being just all world at his ability, because he did the things that the fans are going to put him in, would want him in the hall for, which is knock your life out of your body. But he also had the ability to flip his hips and run and could cover. So for me,
he was an all-pro corner.
Yeah, he was at left corner for 4 seasons before he made the switch to. So he was a dynamic athlete. So yeah, Jack Tatum revolutionized the position, and he just did ignorant things that everyone appreciates in sports. So he's in. Then you have Ed Reed, and then you've got.
But you're talking about at the position, right? But we're talking about so he's going.
I know when you're getting in the hall, it's not necessarily at the position, but I'm kind of clarifying why he kind of battles for the respect, because Ed Reed and Troy get more acclaim than they should. Yeah. And I'm an Ed Reed fan. Like, I think Ed Reed, I don't even know why people compare Ed Reed and Troy, because Troy is the most overrated great player in the history of overratedness. Like,
what's interesting about that is, so Troy was more marketable, obviously.
Yes.
And primarily
he had long flowing hair.
He had that natural Hawaiian silk
and a woman's face.
He
was one of the DeBarge kids, like.
But here's the thing, though. There's I've been like hearing his name over the past 4 weeks, and his respect level for the guys that actually played with him, though, is on a beam, and a lot of it is because they said that when he didn't have an X's and O's, Troy was so athletic, and he put the fear in guys' heart. Like, it was a matter of fact, it was one. I think it was Pat.
Hawaiian Pacific Islanders have no fear of anything but God, and they play like it.
Yeah, because I one specific example was on Pat McAfee, who's a former NFL podcast. He was telling a story, and in the story he was talking about how design, and he was playing for, I think, the Colts at the time or something, but he was saying that Troy Polamalu messed up their play call so many times, and he was like, he's one of the only guys that offensive players of his that he talked to, like, literally feared. It was because of his athleticism, and it's probably because of what you just said, B. Austin, because when you have no fear, drop your head and do whatever you got to do.
When you think of defensive backs, like, safeties kind of get that reputation as being enforcers, and you come across the middle, and they'll clean your clock. But I'm going to tell you something. When a safety plays, or a defensive back plays near the line of scrimmage, and you pull guards on the run, or you put fullbacks into the gap, they back down typically. Yeah. Troy Polamalu was one of those guys that would take on offensive linemen. And he was only 205 pounds.
That people remember.
So I think the funny thing is, you may be right in terms of B-Dog's ability versus those guys who basically was surrounding him and kind of like swallowed up the claiming fame. But I know that Troy has a respect level from his peers that's like through the roof. And you're right, safeties are like, Ronnie Lott was known to rock you in your face and stab your brain with your nose bone.
With your nose bone.
He cut his own finger off because he was like, he had it. Yeah, he was like, it was going to stop him from.
But my point of making that statement. is they get a lot of respect for what they do, but as you watch the game, the closer to the line of scrimmage they play, sometimes they kind of shrink from that contact. They're not known for taking on linemen, and I'll give Troy his credit. He wanted to – I believe Troy Polamalu wanted to play linebacker and just couldn't gain the weight to do so. And so –
I believe that. Troy was sometimes jump over the lineman, though. You remember, like, he used to –
we've said all the good stuff about Troy, and this is about B. Dog. And the point I'm making is for all of that stuff, all of that stuff that he did around the line of scrimmage, Troy Polamalu in his prime can't cover me right now. But
at the same time, I guess we just proved your point because somehow it became a conversation about Troy, which is kind of what your point is.
That's the marketing. Yeah, that's the marketing. That's not player for player. When I compare them, Doc was more dominant for longer than Troy, and he to me should get that nod behind only.
So because he was more consistent over a longer period of time.
Yes.
Okay.
My problem also is when you analyze. Hold on, Jimmy. When you analyze the position, fans and sometimes even players don't analyze the position properly. Your safeties should be able to cover. If your corner gets beat, it's the job of the safety to run with you. It's not their job to run down into the gap and lay a big hit that's going to get the crowd wild, even though that's what they get acclaim for. And Troy could not do that, whereas B-Dog could, at least as an Eagle he could. I'm not going to say he could as a Denver Bronco player. He kind of played the same role as Troy Polamalu because he couldn't cover later on in his career. But for the majority of his Eagles career, he could erase the mistakes of his corners because he could run with receivers.
All right, but here's the question I wanted to ask you, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of well established that Troy was marketable. He was marketed. He was a star in his own right. When you start to talk about Hall of Fame, in any league for that matter, does any of that stuff matter? Is it just about what you did on the field? So, like,
it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be.
That's my question. Is it, though? And Phil, I want your perspective, too. It
can't be. It can't be because that's the reason T.O.'s not in. The reason T.O.'s not in,
exactly.
If you're going by the field, by what happened on the field, T.O.
has to be in first ballot.
T.O. is number 2, and based on the way we evaluate things, because we dock people for cooning, that knocks the boy to put the chicken in his helmet out, and T.O. would be number 1.
I mean, I disagree with that because Moss would be my number 1 outside of the other bulls. I would have T.O. I'm gonna play by your rules. I'm not going down that lane. I'm gonna play by your rules. In this scenario, T.O. would be number 1 in my personal opinion.
And he's the greatest of all time. But
that's a matter of opinion. But I just can't see myself putting a receiver at number 1 that can't catch. But that's either here nor there. Listen, here's what I want to do. I want to give you some of the guys that that was another reason that made him great. The fact that he had
couldn't catch and put all them numbers up though, dog.
And put up stats. And even Steve Young said it. Steve Young said like nobody worked harder than Terrell Owens. Like the years that he played with. He's like,
and your man is a first ballot. Listen, Moss is a first ballot guy.
Absolutely.
So right now we're splitting hairs. But my split of the hair is.
Listen, I'm not here to debate that. Like, it's my opinion.
I know.
None of us to prove whether we right or wrong, which is why.
It's just a matter of.
I'm just questioning. My question to you is: in respecting competitive greatness, is it cool to say I play when I want to? You're okay with that? All right, cool. All right, so I understand.
Yeah.
Because that's my only. That's my biggest knock.
If that's a fact, let's talk about some of your man's antics. Anyway, splitting up teams and whatnot. Anyway, listen, some of the finalists I want to get to because Ray Lewis is up as one of the finalists. Brian Urlacher, Edgerrin James, Randy Moss, T.O., Isaac Bruce, John Lynch, B-Doc, Everson Walls, Ty Law, Tony Baselli, Joe Jacoby, Steve Hutchinson, Alan Faneca, Kevin Mawe. So there's a lot of great players who are up. and there was a couple of senior finalists, Robert Brazile and Jerry Kramer, who played for the Packers. How is Jerry Kramer not already in? I hear his name anytime they talk about the old Packers. It's crazy to see that he's not in.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because he was probably a center that weighed 138 pounds.
He was playing center less than 200 pounds.
Yo, but he was putting that work in, though. Like Bart Starr and them, he was putting that work in.
Student body left, student body right.
As somebody that lived in Green Bay, there's no way. Like I took the tours, I've seen all that. Yo, dude was a beast. Like it comes through on the film. Like you just see, like dude.
Hold on.
Yeah, we're not just gonna gloss over that you lived in Green Bay.
You lived in Green Bay.
Hey man, you know how we go. We go where the papers at. American Express, they wanted your boy, and there I was. Plus the champ, she was working. She was the editor at the newspaper up there, so we just made it happen.
Wow.
I mean,
okay.
Learn something new.
You didn't know you was a cheesehead.
I knew. Listen, he started with the money, but I knew somehow I had to do with the woman. Like, you know what I'm saying? I knew somehow.
Hey man, that is the money. What is she talking about?
You already know, no doubt. Salute to the champ. But listen though, so those are the guys. So it's a lot of big names that are up. So, and I think that the way the NFL voting goes, you have to get like a finalist must receive a minimum positive vote of 80% during the annual selection meeting. Now, maybe you guys can answer this for me because I've been trying to find this out. Like, so does that mean everybody can get in the 80% vote, or is it a certain number that get it?
I think it's a certain number.
I think it's no more than 7. I believe is the maximum amount of inductees per year.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's just say it's 7. Let's go with your number because we don't have any other data to say that it's not your number. And if anybody got any information, hit us up and let us know if the number is not 7. Because I really don't know what it is. But let's see. Ray Lewis is a definite, right? Like, we're going to say a definite?
Yeah, he's in with no questions. I mean, he balled. He sold us out now. The way people love him, he's repping them. So, yeah, he's in.
All right, so he's
of course
definite.
He's in.
What do you guys feel about Brian Urlacher? Is he a definite?
With 2 knees, because that's for praying.
No, no, because of Ray. He's a definite to get in, just not first ballot because of Ray. They're not going to put two middle linebackers in.
All right, that's a good question. Like, does the position actually
the hall is like that, where they will.
Yeah, it's based on its position. Its position. The only time you're going to see 2 of the same.
Last year, right?
It happens, but more often than not,
they don't like to.
They don't like to.
Right,
The only position that it happens where there's no question is quarterback. They'll put multiple quarterbacks in, but every other position.
Hold on, if there's anything to that, what you just said, then T.O. definitely not getting in. They're letting Randy Moss in. He works for the NFL right now.
Yeah.
And people
are trying to downplay that, but I actually was probably the first person I'd like to pat myself on the back that mentioned that when he first got a job with the network, when he was still telling people he was available to go and play with Tom Brady. I said, this bull is going to get in the Hall of Fame because he is now on TV. And he's made himself a friendly, unassuming, non-threatening Negro. So he's getting in.
Oh, he's the A-Rod. Like, A-Rod is America's darling now.
Yeah.
Yo, but I'm gonna keep it a buck though. Let's be honest though. Like, I watch A-Rod, and he's a creep as a player because he cheated. I mean, I didn't care, but that's how most people feel about him. A-Rod's actually pretty good on TV. He's like one of the best already. And according to his ex-chick, she said that's because Ball can't. What his ex-chick? It was her mom or something. Said the Ball is dumb as a doorknob when it comes to anything in life,
other than
with
baseball.
the exception of baseball. Other than baseball.
Yeah, they said he's a genius about baseball.
He's a genius about baseball. He knows nothing about nothing. She said the Ball can't hold a conversation about anything in life other than baseball. My point is, Randy Moss is actually going pretty well on TV in my opinion. He's gotten a lot better.
He is.
LaDainian still got a lot of work to do, but that's either here nor there.
LaDainian's still trying to escape from slavery.
Jim, this just in. A-Rod knows about the Mac counter. He's very familiar with the makeup and accessories as well.
Yeah, we already know about those stories. But Peter,
he's the king on Rouge.
If you ever look at those dudes that go work for the NFL Network or even sometimes the ESPN, they get the nod for the Hall of Fame. I don't know if there's something to that, like we're gonna have Hall of Famers in TV. I don't know. Yeah, like
everybody on NFL Network in the Hall of Fame, That's like a prerequisite.
Yeah, but it's like if you're not, when you get hired, they like the very next time is up, they put you in. So
shout out to Kurt
I don't
Warner.
know. I don't know if that's it's something to that, because Kurt Warner, in my opinion, was borderline to begin with, but once he got the gig on air, it was like it's a wrap. It's like you a made man now. NFL Network like a coaster.
Yeah, I guess he was borderline. When you say
his
borderline,
story is crazy though.
His story is amazing.
No, his story is fire. Definitely Disney worthy.
But the question is, can you tell the story of the NFL when leaving him out, and is he that dominant?
I don't think you can, because that greatest show on turf, that was, and they was in what? He played in 3 Super Bowls.
But his story, like we often said, was part of that season. Like that's kind of what made that season great too. Is this team that came from out of nowhere with Dick Vermeil crying everywhere? Like you can't tell that.
The other question
he took the Cardinals to the Super Bowl,
Was he ever top 3? Was he ever top 3 at his position?
No, I mean, that one season he was. That one season.
He was the MVP of the league that one season, and he got a Super Bowl MVP. And I believe
is that why you cool? Yards. Is that why you cool with putting him in? Because I'm using your written rules to evaluate. No, he's in their hall, but I'm talking about our hall.
Yeah. Well, I just say that when I think about him, like based on the building and all that, when I think of the greatest quarterbacks, he never really comes to mind. But you're right, you can't tell a story without him. And but at the end of the day, he had a run with. It's sort of like in our group chat. We
Phil, my man Jimmy wrote the criteria to get into the War Room Sports Hall of Fame and don't use his own criteria. And they fired
No. I said borderline, but I would put him in. I will put him in for that reason, but he's still borderline, but he will get in for that reason that you can't tell a story without him. It's sort of like the analogy that was used in our group chat this week. It was a long analogy about how Kurt Warner is the Lil Wayne of football, right? Where Lil Wayne was wobbly and dropping and didn't care, but he went through this little phase where
Gilly was writing for him.
I mean, listen, I can't say whether he did or not. I don't know if he did. He definitely still did. For lack of a better term, swag. But at the end of the day, that little phase, and even after him and Gilly parted, he still was like throwing up $1 million. He was like, he became basically a superstar. But then after that, he trashed now, B. Like he's
$1 million here, $1 million there, a young money millionaire.
But right now,
rougher than Nigerian hair.
Yeah, harder than Nigerian hair. That was a hard bar. Stop that. Listen, he right now he's trash, B. Like he's like Kurt Warner at the end of his Cardinals run. But he had his greatest show on turf. Carter 4 or 5 around there. But anyway, my point being, so we already said Ray Lewis is definite. Brian Urlacher probably not now. How about Edgerrin James?
I'm biased, so I'm not going to answer. Go ahead, Phil.
I'm biased. Ed should already be in there, but he's not going to get in.
You biased too?
I didn't know that. He went to the U. He went to the U, so.
Yo, I overrate Edgerrin James, and I get made fun of for it. So I think we already know where I stand.
No, I'm gonna tell you this. This is 100. I was looking at it. The only reason he's not in already is because he wasn't on the Super Bowl team. They let him go right the year before they went to the Super Bowl, and then they went back-to-back Super Bowls.
I'm gonna do something painful. I'm gonna do something painful, brother. The criteria. Can you tell the story? See, and I don't know, Jimmy. When you use the criteria, do you? I look at all 3 or 4 and say all 3 or 4 got to match up. I'm not just taking one. Like they all got to match up. So if they all got to match up, that's where the question comes in. All right, can you tell the story as one? Where were you statistically? And then more importantly, were you the best at, top 3 or top 5 at your position and your dominance and impact on the game overall? So those are the 4, the 4 criteria.
But see, here's the thing, though, right? So I feel like when you say can you tell the story, that kind of encompasses all this, because even if right, you don't win a lot of championships or what have you. If you're that dominant, which means your statistics are crazy. Like there's some guys like a Dan Marino who's never won, but you can't tell the story of the game without him because of just how dominant he was.
Right.
Which is, brings up his statistics and also the fact that
he was a victim of his own greatness.
So like, a Barry Sanders, like there's guys like that where you can't tell the story of the game without them, even though they didn't have the team success. So that's kind of why I like that criteria. But here's the thing.
I'm going to keep it $1 million with Edge.
I don't want to go player by player because we'll be here all day long. But the point is there's a lot of great players up there. And if they're only putting in one wide receiver, that leaves – and if they actually put in two, this is how you know they disrespect T.O. That's when they put in Randy Moss and Isaac Bruce.
Damn. Yo, you can't do –
wow.
Isaac
That's
Bruce
crazy.
is not – Isaac Bruce was nice. Torrey Holt, I think, is eligible as well. Nice. Neither one of them dudes could sniff T.O.'s jockstrap. Pause.
Not at all.
Yeah, so, I mean, but that's it. Let's get Tobias on the line because Tobias is trying to get through. Master B on. Let's see what Tobias thinks about T.O. and his chances of getting in. Hey, yo, Tobias, you good?
Roll down Tide, gentlemen. I'll be sitting next to Roy Moore at the championship game, baby. What's going on, gentlemen?
We're gonna go watch the Bull Connor Bowl, huh?
Hey, George Wallace say segregation now, segregation forever, baby. Roll Tide. But hey, hey, the Confederate flags will be waving this Monday night, baby. And all the Make America Great Again hats will be on full display.
So that's what you're rooting for right now, huh, Tobias? That's what you about now, huh?
Hey man. I'm from the South, man. I'm from Alabama. You know me. I rolled them. Hey, I took all my pot shots. I like when Miami lost to Wisconsin in bowl game. We ain't seen Fred since they got boat raced by Clemson. We ain't seen Fred. They lost to Pittsburgh.
Fred did die after that.
Yeah, I know. but one thing, I gotta touch this before touching with T.O. and everything. It's like sometimes in sports, when people question you for a month, saying you ain't supposed to be there, you're not as good as you used to be, and all that, and the other team they decide to crown them, things happen, and you end up getting embarrassed on national TV. But one thing is that, and it's like even this NFL draft got Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold coming out. The problem is that with those guys, it depends on where you go play at, the organization, the team, the coaching staff. If you go to Cleveland, you may have all the talent in the world, but you may go there to die. It's like being drafted by the Sacramento Kings. How many top picks were promised gone there and you died, in the NBA? So it's a lot of times that you have to go to that right situation. But also you got to talk about the Hall of Fame.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But it's also like it's not a perfect process, and we try to act like it should be based on just what happens on the field. But these are people making decisions, and it's sort of like when I just asked B. Austin, I'm like Edgerrin James. The first thing he said was, "Oh, I'm biased." Like these people have biases too. As much as they want to say they're being objective, it's like, yo, they have biases too. And when you look at T.O. and Randy Moss, like. It's as much craziness Randy Moss has done, straight cash, homie, I play when I want to. You've never heard one of his teammates, coaches, or anything say anything negative about him. You know what I mean?
That's
like, there's no.
That's not true. His teammates hated him in Minnesota. That's what ran him out when he pooped on the food.
No.
You know what, though? I tell you what it is also.
They'll say he was immature when he first came in, but they still talk about him, and they still, talk about him, in a high regard.
A lot of reverence.
A lot of reverence, and they'll say that he was young when he first came in, but it's not the same between him. Most of T.O.'s teammates don't even want to talk about this, other than the ones that like Steve Young and some people that are trying to stand up for him now because they feel like he's being picked on. But for the most part, most of them don't even care. Most of them are happy that he's not getting in.
But the one thing I look at is T.O. may not have been the easiest guy to work with. But I know the Eagles fans hated, not the fans, but people talking about the Eagles broke up the Eagles. I bet Donovan McNabb would have taken another year of him instead of James Trash and Todd Alligator Orange Pinkston and FedEx with the golden hands, But But see, it's all about working with.
But that's the thing,
I'll say this.
Right? Like for Phil's instance, right? When Phil worked for Amex, they cut Phil a big check, and he went to Wisconsin to work for Amex, right? Even though he's working for Amex, if he has a guy in his office who has all the ability in the world to do the job, but the guy's a straight prick, at some point it doesn't matter how good you are at your job if you're a prick to work with. And we all have experience in workplaces, and that's true. There's some people who have extreme talent, regardless of what it is, whether you're a teacher, a janitor. And this is not a shot at T.O., because I think T.O. should have been in already, as a matter of fact, because he was just that good. But the thing is, I'm not going to front like I don't understand, because we're still talking about humans making a decision. And no matter how good you are at what you do, you could like, you know, unless of course you work on Wall Street and you make a bunch of money, then we don't care how crazy you are. But outside of that, you know, you can be good at your job, but if you are a pain to work with, people don't want to work with you or don't want to like give you a recommend. They just don't. Like it's sometimes, man. Listen,
but
that's
you know what
David bag has go to Miami. That's what I did.
You know what? Exactly. No, here's the thing. What I look at. They keep moving the goalpost on T.O. talking about different things.
Exactly.
But look at how many teams Jerry Rice played for. I don't know what was going to happen for him retire or finally cut those plaits off his head. No. He was looking a mess.
No,
First off, we don't mention his name on here. My man put chicken on a face mask.
And made a chicken commercial and tap danced and painted his face.
And smiled when he did it. He smiled when he did it too.
Yeah, we can't.
You know what? And the thing is, it's like Ray Lewis got a murder charge.
Hold on.
But people talk about but you know what kills me though? People talk about distractions. Ray Lewis had a murder charge. That's a distraction.
Tobias, I thought you were going in the direction, and you starting to go there. When you say they move the criteria on T.O., let's talk about it really, truly, and seriously. There's the criteria to get into the hall. It states we will not look at anything beyond the field of play. This includes locker room, media, and off-the-field activities, right? When it came to T.O., the members of the media hated that man so much that they said, now we will consider what happens in the locker room and what happens off the field. Well, guess what? T.O. doesn't have anything that's happened off the field. And there's a myriad of guys that are in the hall that have felony charges off the field. So they definitely moved the goal.
But again,
go ahead, Jimmy.
Listen, man, it's like my grandmother told me as a kid, like, you know, sometimes the best investment you could be is kind of just be nice to people because it pays a dividend and it don't cost you anything to do so. So the fact is, all those things are true, B. Austin, but people don't like the guy. And I'm not saying that should matter because at the end of the day, it shouldn't. If you're good, I don't have to like you. But you know, if you do your job, I don't have to like you. But it does matter. You get the benefit of it. It's a reason why Joe Dumars can get in. People like him. So if you have the ability, plus people, because these are the guys voting for you. The media, your peers, it says something when people don't want. I mean, some people say, "Well, they just hating," and part of that could be it too. But you know, at the end of the day, right? If everywhere you go, there's people who hate your guts, he's the common denominator. And again, I'm not saying that should matter, but it does matter. Those are facts. Like, shout out to my wife who sent me a message. She said,
you know what,
got extra chances. Tim Tebow got extra chances he probably shouldn't have got just because people like him. And that's true. Like, this guy's in the league right now who probably shouldn't even be in the league. But they're liked. Oh, no doubt.
Hey, can I say this before I go? The one thing I want, like when I was talking about quarterbacks and coaching, y'all got the guy who loves LeBron more than Rob Moreland, Nick Wright, put up a nice stat where he talked about, like, Jimmy Garoppolo's, 5 or 6 starts compared to Colin Kaepernick's last. And the numbers are pretty much the same except for the win column, and Jimmy G threw more picks. And it just shows that Jimmy G is a great, I think he's a good talent, but he won the coaching lottery. Shanahan's a good coach. Bill Belichick in that system is a good coach. Wonder how things would have turned out for some of these quarterbacks if they had to play for Tim Tomsula and Chip my way. I'm gonna run fast.
I mean, but you know what though? That's always been a thing in every sport. It's about time. It's about timing and who sometimes you play for.
Yep.
Like, what if Randall Cunningham had any sort of coach? Randall Cunningham was literally told. Randall Cunningham was literally told, just go out there and make 2 plays, and the defense is going to win this game. Don't even worry about it. Like he never really
when Randall was coached for 2.5 seasons, he was amazing. He's still one of the best.
Still going away from the Super Bowl.
Hey,
what about what else, guys? Think about this though. Think about even Mike Vick. When Mike Vick first got there and was like, "Oh, I never knew you were supposed to do this to play quarterback." He admittedly didn't try. Never had a coach to push him. When he finally got a coach that believed in his black son and gave him a chance, so it's like that could be said about a lot of guys. Like there was a quarterback that the Niners drafted. I forgot his name. So this was after Steve Young, after I think
Jim Druckenmiller
or whatever.
Jim Druckenmiller.
Jim Druckenmiller.
He was lit. He used to be lit.
No, it wasn't him. It was another guy. But I remember them saying that at the time he came in,
Gerback?
It was bad. It was bad timing. Elvis Gerback actually played well for a little while. This guy right here, never played well. But they said that he had all the tools, but it was timing. He came in at a time where you following all the legends. No, this was after all that, man. And I'm gonna look it up and I'll let everybody know who it was. But it was a guy you guys drafted. He was a young guy, and he's like basically he this is when what's his face was your quarterbacks coach, the boy that's on the NFL Network that coached Brett Favre. What's his face? Mariucci. This is what Mariucci is with y'all. Mariucci's the one that actually said this. He was like, timing is everything. Some guys come in and you can be struggling with your offensive line. They get hit a couple times, and they can literally ruin their entire career. Timing is absolutely everything.
David Carr was on his way, and what they did to him, he should be able to sue for that.
You know what? I'll say this real quick.
That's it. What's his name?
Tim
David Carr. Now, he was the Houston, Texas guy. But you know what, though, guys? I say this. I know you got to run.
No.
I am P.O.
Go ahead.
I'll say this real quick before I run. I am P.O. Tampa Bay brought the whole band back, the dude who can't coach a lick, and you got a GM that still want to dress a pass rush. But also this, I know everyone's crowning John Gruden. To me, he's nothing more than Jeff Fisher with a Super Bowl ring. Besides that one Super Bowl, the man ain't won a playoff game since Bill Clinton, I think it was W, first took office. That's when last time he won a playoff game, but everybody's crowning him.
He has the same record as Brian Billick, and Brian Billick actually has a better win percentage than John Gruden. So there you go.
Well, first off,
he's not that great. Man's not.
First off, Jeff Fisher, that's my brother Dad likes to say. Jeff Fisher came with him 1 yard and win the Bowl his damn self. But even beyond that, I hear you, but you got to understand that before he got the job, Gruden has been one of these guys who's been highly touted since he was a young coach. Like he's always. That's why he got the opportunity with the Raiders the first time.
Hey Jim, it's like you said though. People like him.
Exactly.
So he's always going to get that benefit of the doubt.
Exactly. So he's always had that. I remember when he was here in Philly, they were talking about making him the head coach. He coached offensive coordinator under Ray Rhodes, and I'm like, they didn't even like the offense is that great. But he's always been considered
when he was in Oakland, they were talking about bringing him to San Fran.
He had one top 10 offense in Tampa. And he supposed to be an offensive mind, only one top 10 offense, and that was right number 10. He never developed a quarterback.
Guess what? He got more rings than Marty Schottenheimer.
You ain't lying. But anyway, hey, you guys have a good one, fellas. You guys have a good one, fellas.
All right, take it easy. Man, we got a couple calls. We're going to get them live. We're going to bring them on in a minute, but I do want to say this, though. I want to get you guys' opinion on what he just said. John Gruden is going to be the next coach of the Oakland Raiders.
Yes, sir.
So, what are you guys' opinion about what Tobias said? Tobias said that he thinks the ball is overrated. I think he's kind of hating because he coaches his old Buccaneers. Why you?
No.
Hold up though. You hating on a guy that got them a bowl?
He's overrated. He's overrated.
He might be overrated.
It depends. I know this is going to sound a little corny, but I have to say it this way. It depends on how you're rating John Gruden. Let me tell you what John Gruden is. John Gruden is Chucky, and to an extent, Phil Jackson. Not as accomplished, but hear me out on this. Hear me out on this.
You got to break this down. You got to break this down, doggy. I need explanation.
When we break down Phil Jackson, look at two ends of a spectrum. On one end of the spectrum, you have Phil Jackson. On the other end of the spectrum, you have Larry Brown. In the middle, I'd say you have Coach Pop. We've never seen Phil Jackson build anything from the ground up. In fact, when you have to build, Phil Jackson said, "I'm out. I don't got time for that." Larry Brown doesn't want to have any stars. He just wants to build from the ground up. Pop, I feel like, is in the middle. I feel like Gruden is the type of guy that can come in. He's very intense. He's creative. He's hard to deal with, but in the right situation, he will garner results. The reason that we gauge him tough is we've never seen him have to manage a program and build. He always
hold on. I understand where you're going. I understand where you're going with that, but we did actually see him have to manage a program and build. Because you remember, like, when he was, what's this, like second or third time with the damn Raiders?
Second. This is the second time.
Second.
And he and Al Davis used to fight. Him and Al Davis used to come to blows every other day. Like they literally fought 3 times a week.
No, I get that. But that's not what I'm saying. I understand where you were trying to go with that analogy, but you always like to poop on Phil anyway. But the reason I have a certain level of respect level for Phil, and it really has.
That's not pooping on him. That's not poop Jimmy.
Oh no, you do. I'm not saying your
guy to
comment.
manage talent. It takes a special
but listen, he's a specialist. I can say that. But what I can say, another thing I can say is, all those stars that he had haven't won without him, with the exception of Shaq, and that's because Shaq won another one with Pat Riley. So I mean, that's like okay. But my point is though, the reason I respect Phil is like when I read the books about the guys that have played under him, and they always talk about what he did for their game and for them mentally. He brings that to the table, and I get your point. You're trying to say basically what you're saying is Tony Dungy set the plate, and he just came and and ate the food, but the plate was already set. And you're saying that's kind of what Phil does. I understand the analogy. But I mean, I don't
think he sets. I say that he comes in after somebody has bought the groceries and maybe even done the food prep, but he has to season it and cook it and arrange it on the plate. That's a better analogy.
And see, I think that's what Phil does. I don't think that's what John Gruden did in Tampa. I think the plate was already set, and all he had to do was say, "Let's eat." Like I mean, it was
in Tampa. That may be true.
Pass the great coupon.
In Tampa, that may be true.
But even in Phil's case, right? Like people like to say that about Phil, the plate was set, and a lot of times it is with the star players. But Phil always adds these guys, and you look at his history, he always adds these guys, these glue guys on the team that play the way he wants them to play and do certain things on the team that allow them to win.
Absolutely. And he was a great manager of personality.
Yeah, so I mean, but this is not about Phil Jackson. This is about John Gruden. But my question about that, even more than that, is, what's up with the Raiders and the Rooney Rule? Like, are they making a mockery of the whole Rooney Rule? Because it came out. Like, see, here's the thing. Adam Schefter reported it, and I don't know if the Raiders wanted it to come out that they were already going to hire the guy because what happened to the Rooney Rule, B?
The reality of the Rooney Rule is everything else in America. It's not that the majority of the white establishment is directly racist. They just don't have a problem with the effects of institutional racism because it has no bearing on their lives. So they don't even understand when you say, listen, why wouldn't you have African-American males coaching inside of an institution that's 70 to 80% African-American? They just kind of, whatever, we hear you, and then they move on. So they don't give they give lip service to it, but they're not concerned with the actual impact, and they're not concerned with making an impact. It's kind of like a tweet that I saw about those that voted for Trump that have logical explanations as to why. And I know history is hindsight is 20/20, but it's like, it's not that a lot of folks were directly racist, so to speak. It's just that his racism doesn't bother you. It doesn't bother you enough for you to take a stand against him because some of the other things that you may like or believe in. So that's kind of where I am with NFL ownership and the Rooney Rule, and the Raiders are the same. It's like, it's not that I think that they intentionally don't hire black coaches, but I don't think they go out of their way since Art Shell to really pay attention to what it is and what it means to support it. So that's my thing.
And the Raiders like Al Bundy, man. They like 4 touchdowns in one game. They like, yo, we hired the first one, so like, you know what I mean, we should get a pass. I think they be looking at it like that. Like, plus I think they passed their Rooney Rule for 2017 to Cleveland in Cincinnati. I mean, you know, they took their Rooney Rule.
Got you. And I was just about to mention that what's going on in Cincinnati or what have you. But here's the thing. I don't know how effective the Rooney Rule has been, and I've heard some people make the argument that, well, it gives guys an opportunity to interview and put their name out there, and eventually, you know, things will happen, yada yada yada. But I'm also one of these guys who I'm a free market guy too. I hate when like people try to legislate what businessmen do with their business, because I feel like the market should be able to take care of itself. If you really feel that strongly about someone not hiring minorities, don't support them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a free market guy, but I also understand.
In theory, I feel where you're coming from.
I understand that at sometimes things have to be legislated, so I understand that. I'm a free market guy, but I'm also a realist who understands that certain things have to. But at the end of the day, the way the rule is constantly written, like you just bring someone in, like it's all smoke and mirrors. Like when the Eagles made their most recent hire and they brought in Deuce Staley, they were never giving Deuce Staley the thing. Like so, never. You know what I'm saying? Like so, what's the point? Like, and I get it. And I know, like I said,
they could have just brought in a black fan. It would have been the same thing, because it was no way a fan was going to get the job either. You know what I mean? Jeff could have walked in there and did an interview.
So the thing is,
everybody got the job
though. Thing is though, I don't know, man. But you brought up a good point though. So basically, John Gruden, the Raiders made the sacrifice to the Rooney Rule so Marvin Lewis can stay, and actually he got a 2-year extension. And the crazy part is, I know.
Yo, Marvin, listen. Marvin Lewis is in the Illuminati, yo.
I said something about him back in 2000. There's a video on YouTube, on Warren Sports YouTube channel, where I was talking about this, and I looked it up. It's in 2011 when I was going on a little tangent on our show about Marvin Lewis and how he still had a job, considering how terrible a job he was doing. This is 2011. We're going into 2018. My man just got an extension. So
is he working for the establishment? Is he working? Is he like Barack Obama, so they can point to him and say, "But look at Marvin Lewis"? Is that what it is?
No, man. He got takes on the He know where he know about the places in Virginia and the bodies in D.C. Man, like for real.
He really might know about a body. He like really might know about a real body.
No, he has to, or he got like some of those. He got some of those Donald Sterling tapes of the Bengals owners. Like, yo, he be tapping his pocket like Queen Latifah and set it off. Like, yo, I got you. If it ever go down. So no, it's crazy. Like, dude is 0-7 in playoff games, and Bengals have won 5 playoff games in their entire franchise history. He took over 15 years ago, and they still only won 5 playoff games. It's crazy, yo.
Yo, dude got a mean pension just based off his little job with them, and I mean, it's crazy because, like, I know the protections are going to get me the same way they got me last time when I disrespected him, and they start naming all these other players. I'm like, what about such and such got to keep his job? And I get it. I do get it. You guys know I get it.
Who though? Who has had their job for 15 years other than Bill Belichick? Like, I mean...
Well, no. I'm talking about what happened in 2011. So at this point, it wasn't 15 years. It still was damn near down, though. But, I mean, there are guys who keep the job
Jeff Fisher, as much as we talk about him, at least he went to the Super Bowl he's won. I think he's won like 4 or 5 playoff games. Well, he had to win at least 3 to get to the Super Bowl. So, I mean,
yeah. So I mean, he kind of got to keep his job, man, and It's interesting, man, but I don't know, like, what the bank, like, and it's funny because I know that sometimes the players are probably like, well, at least, coach can be out there. Sometimes, like, no matter what you're saying, it's like it doesn't even work anymore at this point. You've been there forever, so you pretty much got to – I'm pretty sure they turned over the team a couple times in 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Free Adriel Jeremiah Green, that's all I'm saying. Like, let that man rock, man. Let him go somewhere else.
Let me tell you why.
Let him live.
Why he will never win a Super Bowl. First of all, it's Cincinnati, and that's almost enough.
They eat chili with spaghetti, so nobody wants to go there.
So that's one thing. But second to that, I believe that Marvin Lewis is a hell of a defensive coordinator. A hell of a defensive coordinator. He is not a good coach, like head coach, because some of the things that make you a great coordinator, which is really being a quote-unquote player's coach, an advocate for your players, at the same time being kind of still one of the fellas. When you are a head coach of a National Football League team, you're essentially a CEO. And you can't be a player's guy. And Marvin Lewis, when you see the way his defense behaves, the lack of discipline is because they look at him as a coordinator. Oh, Marv is one of us. When we, he the big homie. He's gonna protect us, and that doesn't bode well culturally, because there have been times throughout his tenure where Cincinnati has had as much talent on both sides of the ball as any team in the NFL. But the breakdown,
I think it's different though. I think it's one of those things where sometimes, like, if you work for someone that you, even if they're like a player's coach, you care about them. Even if you work at a regular job, but you care about the person that's your boss, right? A lot of times you won't do wrong because you don't want to, like, embarrass them or make them cost them their job. They don't have to worry about that because they know Marv going to always have a job. So, like, I would go extra mile to, like, do this for coach because I don't want him to get, his boss to get upset. But then he's like, he going to have a job anyway. So I'm not going to go the extra mile. That's just my theory right there.
When I look at it like the Bengals is like a bad marriage where the people just stay together anyway because it's convenient and it's easy. Like they know they don't get along. They sleep in separate rooms, all that. But they know at the end of the day, the bills gonna get paid. Everything gonna work clockwork, and they comfortable.
We gonna go 9-7. Couple 7 and 9, couple 9 and 7, 11 and 5. As long as the
Bengals make a certain amount of money, they're cool. I don't even think the ownership cares about. I mean, obviously they don't care about winning, but I think as long as they get a certain dollar amount out of football, they like, yo, it's whatever. I ain't trying to make it.
Yeah,
harder,
and I think that's the majority of NFL owners too. That's a good point. I don't think there's a lot of NFL. There's a lot of NFL owners that don't care. Yeah. If you broke it down the way we do about top guys at the position, we say maybe there's 8 owners in the league that are trying to win. Everybody else is trying to make money and use it as a money printing machine.
They all want to make money, of course.
As fans, sometimes we're jaded, right? Because here's the truth of the matter: half of the league and players don't care about winning, just like half of the owners don't.
That's 100.
I agree with the owners. I don't necessarily agree that it's half of the players. I think more than half want to win.
I know. In your head, you want to believe that that's kind of the world we live in.
No, just because you jaded on sports. Just because you jaded. Listen, I ain't one of them. I ain't one of them people that believe that all players want to win and they're here to win a championship. Nah, I mean,
and the CTE, because they could do a lot of other stuff. I mean, I don't know. I think more than half want to win. But there's
Right.
a good percentage that don't. I would say closer to probably about 30% of them dudes.
I think it's
less.
way higher than that. Matter of fact, and there's no way for us to prove this. These are all Palmer statistics. Yeah. But I do realize that, man, a lot of these dudes are addicted to the lifestyle, right? And you know, it's about being in the league.
You could do Bang Brothers and have the same media effect and brand. You gotta get CTE.
But I'm talking about the lifestyle of even if you're making, you're not making one of the big salaries, you're making six figures, but you get to do it by playing something that you've been playing since a kid. Like, it's the lifestyle more so than the whole idea of winning. And to me, right? Yeah. I believe that there are, and I've actually talked to professional athletes and asked them like this question. A lot of them laugh and be like, "Yo, most cats don't care about winning." But to me, the fact that I know that's what impresses me more about the ones that do, like the guys like Tom Brady, because I'm like, yo, with your level of success, you know, the rings you have, the money you've made, the fact that you still
Tom Brady money don't even matter.
It makes me appreciate him more because I know that there are guys around him in his league who just don't care. So when I see someone like that who does care, it gives me more respect for him. You know, and it's a difference if everybody was playing with, the heart and the intensity that he does, but I know they're not. Mm-hmm. And especially, let a dude get a chip. That's why, like, a lot of times in all the leagues, it's like that hangover season, like, after you get a chip. Because, like, to get back up to try to to try to go back for another one is like, difficult.
I tend to agree with you on that. In other sports, I think the percentage is much higher where the money's guaranteed. I think the dudes play a little bit harder in the NFL just because the money isn't guaranteed. But in other sports, I'm tending to agree with you that it's a much higher percentage of people that don't care. I look at the NBA, as great as the NBA's been,
I feel y'all.
I know them dudes don't care.
Yeah,
I can see it in their body. I know we're not supposed to say that, but I can see it. Shout out to Miz.
That's where I am, brother.
Man. It's the body language.
I definitely can see that in the NFL. You don't have to put your life on the line to get brain damage by the time you're 26 and a half to get six figures. And especially
I don't
now
know, man. But to me, it's not just the money. To me, it's the lifestyle. Maybe I don't watch.
But you can gain the lifestyle. Man, half them dudes in the NFL got helmet head, paws. Anyway, like they not get it. They don't get the love that lesser sports get, where your face is out. Like, don't nobody know who NFL. Yo, there's 53 men on a roster. The world knows less than 10.
Listen, man, and a lot of them dudes.
Yo, we know a lot more bum NBA dudes than we do some star NFL guys.
No, right. I agree with that. I completely agree with that. But when I say the lifestyle, it's not even just about the money, or it's about, like, the camaraderie, the brotherhood. Like, a lot of NFL players always make that analogy to
Jimmy. I feel you, but that goes back into winning.
It is crazy.
The camaraderie isn't there when we're in a losing organization.
It still is, though, because you guys live in a lifestyle where you get up and you pretty much work out and get paid for it. But this is a whole other debate that goes for another time, because we have a lot of topics to get into. We already talked about Marvin Lewis or what have you, because here's the question I got. Me and Phil go back and forth in our group chat. And shout out to everybody in our group chat because
here you go.
Phil,
I already know what you're
Phil loves Francis M.H. Gore. Funny thing is, I like Frank Gore too. I'm a fan of Francis M.H. Gore, but and he actually just became the fifth back in NFL history to rush for 14,000 yards. But I always tell Phil, because Phil brought this argument.
14,026. If you go, if you go,
I said over 14K. But anyway, my point is, Phil always tries to make this thing that Frank Gore is better than Adrian Peterson, and that's kind of what we,
Yo,
he said
I said it. I was automatically riding with Phil too to slander Jimmy until you said what?
No, I'm going.
Hold on, though. Let me finish.
I'm going to give you all the.
The point that I was making to Phil is Frank Gore is accomplished, but he's one of those. I call him the Art Monk of running backs, right? Where Art Monk, by the time he retired, Art Monk was one of the top receivers in the history of the league. He had a bunch of stats. He was like second to Jerry almost in everything by the time he retired.
But he was never top 5 at his position.
Exactly, and that's kind of where I look at Frank Gore. Like you've never been a top dog at your position. You accumulated these stats over a long period of time. Like the game could be told twice without you being mentioned ever.
No one appreciates regular good dudes in professional sports more than me. I overrate a lot of them, dog. I'm a Frank Gore fan. I'm proud of him to still be, because I watch Frank now and he's still productive. Like if he's able to play the way he plays this season, he could play another 2 or 3 years. I mean, he ain't got no will to get down the field, but he can get you 10 yards.
He's going to get that top 3 spot.
His short area quickness is still great.
Yeah, but I don't care. Listen, I don't care if he got the number 1 spot. He still wouldn't be at the table, like unless he's serving everybody else.
Dude is not at the table of gods by any stretch. He's not even at the baby kid table. Yo, he has very rarely, if ever, been top 5 at the running back position. There are times when he's argued for that 4th or 5th spot. Adrian Peterson was clearly the best running back in the world for about 6 or 7 seasons. He's still top.
Here's my argument. No, he's not. He's not. So this is the argument. You got to look at their whole career. Of course, Adrian Peterson, when he was 26, 27, he was that dude. But when Big died, Big died. So only thing we can look at is ready to die, life after death. We don't know what he would have did now and all that. But when we look at somebody like Nas, we got to
Lenny Grant. Lenny Grant wouldn't exist.
Well, hold on though. So you want to bring hip hop into it, right? If you're bringing hip hop into it, Frank Gore is Frank.
Hold on, Jim.
Okay, go ahead.
Let him finish.
You gotta look at the whole career. Since in the last 4 years, Frank Gore has outrushed Adrian Peterson by double.
He's been injured. The dude's been injured.
Whose fault is that? Whose fucking fault? Whose fault is that? That's not Frank Gore's fault. That's Adrian Peterson's fault.
I'm gonna ask you one question, and I need you to really be objective. When you see 28 lined up 7 yards deep in the backfield, you're still walking a safety down. When you see Francis M.H. in the backfield, I'm not walking the safety down into the box, and that's one of the reasons that Frank Gore gets the hell off, because if you make him play against a 7-man front, he's going to pick those gaps and be able to exploit them.
Did
you see AP play this season?
Yeah, I did.
How many AP games did you watch?
I watched the 4 that he didn't play in with New Orleans. I watched those, and then I watched the game against us. That was the only game he actually got off. One game. He played well.
3 games, but you're tripping. But go ahead, Jimmy. You were about to say something.
No, the only thing I was gonna say, if you want to bring up my hip hop analogy, I think that Frank Gore is like Talib Kweli. Like, we're all fans of Talib Kweli. We know Talib Kweli is nice. In fact, he had 2 albums this past year. They're probably like 2 of the better albums to come out this past year. But he's never been – he's not going to be at the table of guys. He's never been, the best ever. At, you know what I mean? At any time was he considered the best.
I'm angry at Phil for making us have this discussion, because I've never been in a conversation where I had to say anything bad about Frank Gore. Like, that's my guy. But you tripping right now. You tripping.
It's sort of like you got guys like Clarence Weatherspoon and Chris Gatling whose numbers are similar to Sean Kemp, right? Because they all played long periods of time and accumulated stats. And, Sean Kemp at the end of his career was putting up like doo-doo stats. So you look at their numbers, they're very comparable. Like, I'm talking about Clarence Weatherspoon like Chris Gatling. But Sean Kemp, within that time frame, had a 5-6 year span where he was all world. No one would ever say that Clarence Weatherspoon was as good as Sean Kemp. You wouldn't either, Phil.
No. Because his name's Clarence. But
there's a difference between accumulating stuff over a long period of time and a guy that may have like a bell curve in his career where he starts off, goes up, and falls down.
To your point about Brian Dawkins, everybody that talks about Frank Gore says he's one of the best. I'm not. And let's be clear. Let's look at the entire argument that we always have. The original
and
argument
also
was not that he was better than Adrian Peterson. I just said that we were making the thing about what they've done over their career, and I was like, well, what about Frank Gore? He was like, he's not Adrian Peterson. I was like, but he has the same stats, and in fact, they're better. And then that's how this whole thing actually started.
Listen, everybody says something nice about it. Listen, if skill's sold, truth be told, I'd rather be. But at the end of the day, no one's ever going to say that Talib Kweli is on the level of Jay-Z. You know, Jay-Z said he wanted to be Talib Kweli, right? But anyway, my point is, facts. These are facts. Hey, your man Frank Gore has never been on the level. Like when NFL Films does their stories and they go over the last couple of decades, like there's going to be a lot of AP talk about. My man came back from a broken leg and was non-human. Like, no defense goes into a game like, oh man, we got to play Frank Gore.
Yo, we gotta stop. Listen, I'm gonna give Frank his props for his career.
And we all, and the thing is, me and Austin both like the Gore.
I love Frank Gore.
We don't even call him Frank Gore. We call him Francis MH. Like that's the kind of respect.
Frank Gore averages 4.3 yards a carry for his career. That is more than respectable. That's actually damn good. How many yards a carry does Adrian Peterson average?
Let's find out. I actually have it right here.
4.8.
4.8, yeah.
Damn near 5 yards a carry, B.
Yo, and that's my thing. Like when you talk about, hold on. When you talk about like those two. But here's the thing, though. When you talk about those two guys, right? That's huge. It's like Adrian Peterson has been places Frank Gore hasn't. Like it's like a difference between a 4.0 and a 4.6, man. That's really what it is.
No, I know you wanted to get
like
that
30
off,
to 40 grand.
But no, I'm just being. I'm being real though. That is how I see it. But Jim, the original argument was never about Adrian Peterson. That's the funny part. It was about Frank Gore going to the Hall of Fame. And my argument was that was the original argument though. I never said that. But I said there's
I'm gonna roll
16 running backs.
Yo, listen, you know we get our arguments in, but I'm gonna roll with Jimmy. I'm gonna say Frank Gore is a little better than Art Monk was at Art Monk's position, but I like that comparison.
I don't know about that.
I like the comparison. Should Art Monk be in the Hall?
I mean, if you
he was the all-time leader when he stopped playing,
no.
And he
when he finished, he was number 2 in everything.
Would you have put Art
same
Monk
with
in the Hall of Fame?
What about Curtis Martin? Same thing.
Damn, that's my guy too. That's my guy. I can't put Curtis Martin in the Hall.
Look, these are all the people, like, and I'm not even saying he's better than these people, but what Frank has done, and what I look at too is that he's done this in an advanced age for football. He's been good in his late 30s. Yeah. So I mean that to me holds weight. I mean Franco Harris, we know why he's in the Hall of Fame because he was on the Steelers.
Yo, Franco Harris in the Hall because he got a big beard. Shout out to beard gang. Paul.
But I mean Frank right now today is ahead of LaDainian Tomlinson, Jerome Bettis, Eric Dickerson, Tony Dorsett, Jim Brown, Marshall Faulk, your boy Adrian Peterson, Edgerrin James.
And he ain't better than none of them. He played 2 years longer. He ain't better than none of them. He ain't better than nobody you named.
He's not better. He
ain't better than nobody you named though.
Listen, Jimmy. This is like me dissing Chauncey Billups. Like I look at Frank Gore like I look at Chauncey, man. Like that's my guy. But you got to be. He's a blue collar guy. He's a blue collar guy that everybody respects. He does what he's supposed to do. In my Larry Brown voice, he plays the game the right way. But at the end of the day, he ain't got that sauce. And that's you know what I'm talking about. I say that sauce. Like I'm borderline, and I'm looking at 4.3 yards a carry, and I'm saying I would probably put Frank Gore in the Hall. But when you average 4.8 yards a carry, that means when you touch the ball like twice, you get a first down. Like, I'm putting AP in the Hall. Like, there's no thought, there's no question to it.
We gotta move on. We gotta move on. But I'll say this: I'll put AP in the Hall twice before I put the other boys. Anyway,
y'all overrate Boyd too, by the way. He's
4.8.
Yo,
4.8 a carry is
listen,
overrated.
I'm not saying listen,
like crazy. He doesn't catch the ball. I'm not even saying he's one of my all-time greats. I'm not even saying that. But what I'm saying is, at his ultimate peak, and your man at his ultimate peak, your man getting 3-0 body bag. It's not even close. One of them, I wouldn't take neither one of them at the ultimate peak over some of the other running backs.
Yo,
I mean, neither would I. But I'm saying
peak,
at their peak.
At AP's peak, there's defenders that didn't want to play football, and they were getting paid millions of dollars. They didn't want to come out on the field.
No printer.
And play dude.
There's no printer.
He's a much more physically dominating player. All that.
Not even physical. He would shake you out your shoes in the secondary and run over you as a linebacker. Like, yo.
All right, listen, we gotta move on though. We gotta move on though.
ACLs, man.
Yeah, we gotta do it. Yeah, your man, you know, he's an accumulator, man. And shout out to Talib Kweli because we love you too. But listen though, pause. Stat of the week real quick because we got to move on. Stat of the week is the Buffalo Bills. They've just broken the league's longest playoff drought. These guys haven't been in the playoffs since 1999. I didn't even realize that it's been that long since the Bills haven't been to the playoffs. Like
last millennium.
That's a long time. That's crazy, right? Anyway, man, real quick before we move on, I gotta say this though. Check out our website at warroomsports.com. While you're there, take a look around. Click on the contact us tab, send us a message about our company, our show. Or if you want to inquire about sponsorship and advertising opportunities, let us know. For general inquiries, email us info@warroomsports.com. While you're browsing the site, click on the memorabilia tab. You can buy some merch. Click on the blog tab to read our latest articles on all experience sports and war. Click on the icons and follow us on all social media. You can also subscribe to our iTunes podcast, watch our webcast, War Room Sports TV, download our free mobile apps. All this can be done at warroomsports.com. You can join the JW Philly Realty chat room right now. That's blogtalkradio.com/The War Room. To enter the chat room, you have to sign up for a free profile on Blog Talk Radio. But if you don't feel like doing that, just use your Facebook or Twitter account. Everybody's on there. So we know you have one of those. And you can, jump right in the chat room. That way you'll get, updates and reminders about our show. We've already taken some questions. We're going to take some more questions, and they're coming from Facebook, Twitter. They're coming from our group chat all over the place. But if you want to call in and speak with us directly, 323-410-0012, press 1 when prompted. And if you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk, and we shall bring you on. We got to get to a couple more of these stories that have happened this past week.
Real quick, I just had to – do you realize what you just said about Buffalo? That means the Cleveland Browns have been in the playoffs more recently than Buffalo up until –
That's crazy.
That's wild.
Damn! That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
That is wild, yo.
Listen, man, real quick, though, we got to talk about what happened while I was on the grind, and that's brought to you by DirecTV. If you like a better TV experience the cable has to offer, go to DirecTV.com and get yourself a better TV experience because as a sports fan, you probably should have DirecTV. Now it's time to talk about what happened while everybody on the grind this past week. Craig Sager's family is beefing over his estate. Some of his older kids were left out as well. He's one of these guys that was remarried, and his new wife is like, yo, they ain't mine. So FOH to them, and there's like a lot of beef going with the estate. I really have nothing to say over this other than take the opportunity to tell all of our listeners, yo, get your paperwork in order and make sure your wishes are met. Yo, you can shoot some videos with your cell phone. You still got to get your paperwork together, but at least you want to make sure your wishes are met, man. I know a lot of people out there don't have no paperwork together. You know what I mean? Shout out to all y'all spending money on Jordans, but, you ain't got no life insurance in the will. So I just want to send y'all a shout out.
Life insurance, $20 a month, yo. 250 G's.
Yo, we tired of fish fries and GoFundMe's, man. So we're going to, use Craig Sager as an opportunity to tell people to take care of their situations. Anyway, man.
Yo, that joint was crazy though, man. His last wife, his second wife, was on the joint giving this emotional speech. I felt all bad at the ESPYs, and then his oldest daughter was like, yeah, she left out the part where the courtship, where he was still married to my mom. But you know what I mean, that made that whole speech like.
They ain't got to put Craig out there like that, man. I mean, Craig was
it was already out. It was on Twitter, man. I mean, it wasn't like I didn't break the story. You know
no, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about the daughter. Ain't have to do that either, though. Like, put him out there. My man, you want to get us some Yemen. Anyway, listen, let's talk about this though. As mentioned in the title, man, like yo, what's up with your man Hugh Jackson, man? I'm just gonna ask you guys. What's up with Hugh Jackson, man?
Hugh's
a glutton for punishment.
Yeah,
he might be one of them S&M boys.
Yeah, Hugh. He got to go jump in the lake. Literally.
Yo, he's the first person that chose to be in Cleveland. Yo, like LeBron had to go there because that's the hometown, but nobody wants to be there for real. I mean, so I don't know, man. Like, I guess it's a job in 2018. So he like, yo, I'm gonna keep getting these checks.
I mean, and for those who don't know what B. Austin was talking about, he said last year they were 1-15 that if they finished that way again, people could find him swimming in Lake Erie. So he went 0-16. He would, so I guess he could use a play semantics and say, well, we didn't finish 1-15.
Yeah. Bull won one game. Bull won one game last year and went worse the following year. Like,
so I got a legit question, and I know people gonna think I'm joking.
No. This is
a legit question.
Wait, hold on, Jimmy. Before you ask that question, I just want our fans and our listeners and audience to understand how humiliating it is to be the coach, the head coach of the Cleveland Poop Stains. The Reese's Senior Bowl, which is an all-star event for college players, names the bottom 2 NFL coaching staffs that are retained, meaning that they're going to go into the next season, they didn't get fired, to coach the 2 teams in the Senior Bowl. When Hugh Jackson came calling, they said, no, we're going with the Denver Broncos and the Houston Texans. We won't need you, Hugh. Yo,
you're a repeat offender, yo. He probably got the most all-time Senior Bowl wins, yo.
Oh, God.
Hugh Jackson, Don Shula of the Senior Bowl, yo.
You're supposed to take the 2 worst NFL coaching staffs that were retained. How they shit on Hugh, man? Go ahead, Jimmy. My bad.
Yo, here's my thing, right? And this is a legit question, man. And I know some people won't think that I'm just like, drawn when I ask this, right? But do you guys think that you could jump in and win more games than he's? My man was 1-31 in the last 2 seasons, yo. Do you think you can win more than one game, like just like randomly, not even like not even being in the culture of an NFL coach, but just knowing what you know from playing Madden? Yo,
I feel like I could have got one up on Cincinnati, yo. I know I could have got. Marvin Lewis would have let me get one. Pittsburgh was trying to give him the last job. They ain't played Ben. They ain't played Le'Veon. Yeah. Mike Epps was on the sidelines eating hot dogs and yop. I mean, he wasn't. They didn't care about that game because they wasn't going nowhere either way. They like, yo, you got it. And they still couldn't. I can't imagine like is he like? How do you come home to your wife when you like 1-31? Like, you got I'm out, yo. Man, Hugh, man, yo, he was in a doghouse. Yo, I forgot who said it though. They said, who was in our chat room? I forgot who was in our group chat. Somebody said, Colin Kaepernick gave his life so he can keep his job after it's his past 2-year performance.
Nah. That joke don't fly because Hugh Jackson sold us out in the interview several times.
No, that's not what he's saying. What he's saying is basically because of the whole situation with Kaepernick and the politics over it, like a lot of black coaches got to keep their jobs when they probably shouldn't because the NFL didn't want to rock the boat right now. That's kind of what he meant.
Shout out to the boy from the Jets who still got his job too.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. So we'll see him swimming in Lake Erie, man. Let's talk about y'all president real quick, though, because my man was on Twitter talking about nuclear weapons, which in itself was kind of bothersome. Why is our president? Why my man on Twitter talking about nuclear weapons? And he basically gave a time and date out. Says I'm giving fake media awards on Monday. Like, what's wrong with your president? Why is the leader of your country giving out fake news awards. Like, he's really like doing that.
Boy out here playing Call of Duty with real people, yo. This is
oh man,
yo.
And to tie this, tie this into sports real quick. Let me add one more thing before you speak, Phil, because I'm gonna tie it into sports real quick. Your man said that he plans on attending the NCAA title game. Now, I think he's doing that because of where it's at and who's playing. I mean, like I told, it's the Bull Connor Bowl, so he probably feels comfortable because that's probably his people. But like, what's good with your man, yo?
Like it's just so much the unpack in this joint. Like when you see the tweets, like you almost think that they fake. You're like, all right, I gotta. But then when you see like the official account, you're like, oh, this dude, like, just when you thought it couldn't get more outlandish and ridiculous, he's like, oh no, I got more in the chamber. I got more heat. Like, yo, man. I might need to. We all might need to move more inland. You know what I mean? Because the coast might not be safe.
Coast is dangerous. Yo, real talk.
Yeah, especially in this military town where I be at.
Coast is dangerous, and I would like to share something that's really, really funny. And because we are the premier sports show, you do know that this year is the year for the Winter Olympics. You both do know that, right?
Yeah.
Do you know where those Winter Olympics are going to be held?
Korea?
South Korea.
South Korea.
Yeah, South Korea.
That ain't funny.
Yo, little Rocket Man gonna let his hands go.
Yo, Rocket Man is going to. He might not be able to get at regular folks. Shout out to our brother Billy Beige. He will blow the F up out of the U.S. bobsled team.
Yo, he gonna let them nuke hands. He gonna let his nuke hands go. Yo, that's not funny at all. We should be joking about that.
As Phil said, there's so much to unpack. I'm at a place where we all enjoy our sense of humor, and that's a core part of what we do here at War Room Sports. But to me, man, it's just not that funny anymore. I mean, it's really downright scary. I hate to take the air out of the topic, but it's like I think of my children. Like I think of my children and the fact that this guy is out of control, and I know that behind the scenes, people with reasonable heads are trying to manage this situation, but there's too many people that believe in what he's saying and the way he acts for this to go right for another 3 years. And so I'm just deathly afraid of the world that can be created based on this dude's ego, his ignorance, his racism, his any ism that you want to assign to that dude can be assigned there. And it's like, what's going to happen for my kids, man? Like, that's the way that I look at it.
Here's my thought, because we got to move on soon and talk about some hoops before we get out of here. But I just want to bring this up, though. What I thought about the other day, which is, just a random thought I had, I was like, I wonder what this is going to do for the presidency. And what I mean by that is, like, the office itself used to have a certain level
Jimmy,
of
that's
respect.
a great question, yo.
Even when cats like Bush was in, and a lot of people didn't like Bush. I mean, they threw shoes at him. Kanye gave him some bars. But there still was a certain level of, like, yo, he's still the president. Like, it's when I see how people are treating this dude and some of the stuff he's saying, it's like it's a big clown show. So I wonder what happens for the respect for the office in itself.
The respect for the
even if you're a fan of this dude and you like, or maybe you like his reality TV or whatever, it's like you have to understand that this isn't normal. Like, this isn't normal. Like, it's not normal.
Shout out to War Room supporter JQ. We know that you bang with dudes.
It's not normal. It's not normal. And there are a lot of people that bang with this dude, man. But it's like you have to understand it's just not normal.
The craziest part of it is like, dude, really, I 100% believe that he believes he's doing a great job. And the thing is, the people that are behind him and around him, they know he's not doing a good job, but he's putting things in and pushing things in place that's making him a ton of money, so they letting him cook. And he thinks he's really smart, and, I'm showing this guy, I got a button too and all of this. And it is scary. Like, I mean, it's one of them things, B. Austin, I laugh to keep from crying because it is scary. I mean, we got kids, we got nieces and nephews, and it's getting to that point. Like when I said about the coast, I wasn't joking. I mean, I live, I can see literally, like on my Sarah Pellegrin, I can see, aircraft carriers from my crib. So it's really real. It's Sarah Pellegrin. That was kind of funny. It's close. It's close to the house. So you know what I mean. It can really get real if while dude's playing around, and he'll be in hiding in the mountains somewhere. And he'll be chilling. Eating McDonald's French fries and down in Diet Coke, and we the Walking Dead. So
yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, that's what's going on, man. That's what happened while you on the ground.
Hard to switch the basketball from that, but
yeah, I know. But real quick though, just another gear shift, real quick. Shout out to Casey Mack, who's in the group chat. Phil, I heard you say it too, but I don't know if everybody heard you when you said it. When I was trying to think of that quarterback you guys had, who they said had all the tools and just bad timing. That was Tim Rattay. You guys remember Tim Rattay?
Absolutely, I remember Tim Rattay. I didn't think of him and tools. Though.
Yeah, Oh yeah, he was getting left and right. Because our offensive line was trash.
Like most of the offensive coaches back then, like they were saying they thought this guy was going to be like it, but bad timing and he got cracked several times. And my man had a gazillion concussions, and that was a wrap for his career. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. Man, that is true though. It's like kind of hard to go from that because y'all president is out here tripping, man, and we got to go from that to talk more hoops, but we definitely got to get in the hoops. Before we do, real quick, though, one thing I definitely want to do, because we do this every week, is we have to give some birthday shout-outs. And for those who don't know, the birthdays are brought to you by Digital Extreme Technology. Listen, I'll make this very brief. If you need a website, you got to stop using Wix sites unless you're a lady of the evening, then it's acceptable. But outside of that, you really shouldn't be using a Wix site, man. So hit up Digital Extreme Technologies and tell them that you heard it while listening to the War Room to get you a special rate. You can find them at digitalextremetech.com, or you can find them at 267-205-4203. And as I mentioned, you have to say, yo, I heard it on the War Room, because that's how you get that special rate that nobody else knows about. You dig? But it's definitely time to give some birthday shout-outs. Al Jefferson is turning 33. Salute to Al Jefferson. This guy right here, probably better than Frank Gordon. No, I'm joking. But Garrison Hurst turns 47. Salute to Garrison Hurst. That was a joke. Wasn't serious, though. Corey Blunt turns 49. Salute to Corey Blunt. The aforementioned Don Shula. Don Shula turns 88. A lot of people probably think of his steakhouse at this point because, steakhouse Republican. Rest in power to one of the greatest pugilists that has ever lived, according to pretty much anyone you talk to. With his highlights are phenomenal. And my man fought like every 2 weeks, like he had to get a bi-weekly check for it. That's one Floyd Patterson. So rest in power. Shout out to you, Floyd Patterson. We'd like to give you a big salute and everybody else on your birthday or your birthday week. But we got to talk some hoops. But to let everybody know, if you want to get in touch with us, you know how to do that, 323-410-0012. And press 1 if you definitely want to come on, because we're getting ready to talk hoops as always. And the NBA Wrap is brought to you by Audible. Is your schedule too hectic to read a book, or maybe you just can't read? Go to audibletrial.com and get you a free audiobook. I know Phil's big into the audiobooks. Phil, what you banging right now?
Yo, I got a lot of just, but me and the champ, we're big fans of the Alien franchise, and they have Audible has the novelized versions of them, along with filling in the gaps in between the movies. So that's the latest thing that I'm into, along with some new biographies I picked up, a couple of hip hop books actually, one about West Coast hip hop, and then one about NWA.
Oh, you gotta when we get off here, you gotta shoot me those. I ain't familiar with those, but me and Phil be talking about audiobooks all the time. Phil has the biggest audiobook library of anybody I've seen. I thought I was putting the pressure on the game, so I seen Phil's audio library. I'm like, yo, you just just had to
I did the final number, Jim. It was 196 books I listened to last year. 196.
Woo! Yeah, see, he be in his bag. But anyway, yeah, shoot me those. But anyway, man, you can get any of those books we talked about for free at audibletrial.com. Now it's time to talk about basketball, gentlemen. This thing of ours. Every time I hear that clip, I just thank God for Rakim, yo. I just really do.
Rakim came to change things at least for a little while. Now we back to all Curtis. We're back to all Curtis Blow's illegitimate.
He came and got us out of the Stone Ages, man. With dudes literally right back then in Curtis Blow, they literally counted bars as they rap. Like really?
Yo, Rod didn't invent the wheel. He invented the transmission, the engine. You know what I mean?
Yo. Man. Listen, man, first story we got to talk about, man, is fake Zeke, man. And we say that with love, too, because it's like, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, we grew up with Zeke, so he's the real Zeke, so you got to be fake Zeke. And it's just because of when you came around, dog. You came around late, dog. But he's, listen, man, over the last couple of years, though, he's pretty much making a name for himself. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Common. Like, he made his Cavs debut, and my man put up 17 points in 19 minutes, instant offense. So, that's one thing. And also, in the process of doing that, like, Boston tried to have a tribute for him on Wednesday night, and he told them FOH. So a couple things. What do you think he can do for the Cavs, one? And two, do you like the way he told Boston, like, don't even give me a tribute? Or what do you guys think about Zeke overall?
I think that he's a throwback in terms of his attitude and his approach. And a part of that throwback is, you know, we all know, well, I would like to think we all know that your experiences create your character and who you are. And he has a lot of personal integrity, and, you know, and it shows because he plays with that chip on his shoulder from being Mr. Irrelevant, which is the last pick in the NBA draft. And so his approach to everything is just gangster. And so, you know, salute to him and the way he approaches things. He's about that action, boss.
Yeah, man. But I believe I was on this program, and when we spoke about fake Isaiah, fake Zeke, and I said that I love dude's game as a vertically challenged individual.
Oh yeah,
I respect his game.
Yeah,
but he all he's gonna do is they might go 6 with the Warriors instead of 5 because he's still a defensive liability.
Yeah. You're talking real coaching tactics speak.
Yeah.
He doesn't mean anything. He's just great to watch.
You covered the other part I was going to talk about, so I went right to the X's and O's.
He's great to watch.
He's great to watch. Yeah, but I don't even think he would have helped him last night if he played. But I do like the shots he threw at Boston because any time shots get thrown at Boston, I'm with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely the shots at Boston. And he has to act this way, man. You named up the Isaiah Thomas, who, regardless of any of his other activities, was as a competitor, was one of the toughest dudes there was. So, you know,
absolutely.
Anyway, man. Yo, so news has come out that the Cleveland Cavaliers, as we're talking about Cleveland, they explored trading Kyrie Irving prior to his request for it. So my question is, now that that's come out, does that change your opinion on Kyrie, like saying he wants a trade when it comes out that they were trying to trade him anyway?
Well, and I don't know whether this is fake news. I don't know whether this is fake news or not, but there's also reports that LeBron James's agent, Ron Paul, and LeBron James's homie, high school homie that piles around in the entourage, when they were, you know, wrapping things up in Cleveland before Kyrie got up out of there, a couple things happened. First, one of the homies from the Little LeBrons, you know, he was at the game and saw Kyrie Irving's dad, reached out,
I heard that
shook hands, dapped up, and Kyrie said to his dad, why are you shaking hands with the enemy? What's wrong with you? LeBron, your teammate is the enemy now? Then the second part to that story is Coach Tyronn Lue, the guy, the boy that AI stepped over, the bum boy, him. He went to Kyrie and said, hey, we need to speed the pace up because speeding the pace up in our offense leads to more shots created for, your teammates. And Kyrie looked at him like, who? He said, well, RJ and Earl and those guys can get more shots off if we speed the pace up and you push the ball a little bit more. We need to create. Well, first, before he named names, he said we needed to push the pace to create more shots. Kyrie's response was, I don't need to push the pace to create shots. I can get my shot anytime I want. Then he injected. Then he said the name of those other players, and he said, that's really not my job. That's 23's job. So these guys, with that information, now I don't know whether these are stories that were planted by Nick Wright, or whether these are truthful and valid. But it sounds like Kyrie got an attitude and ego problem.
He might, and those might be Nick Wright planted stories. Who knows what the truth is?
Both could be true, but you gotta have that attitude to be in the NBA, to be at the position he plays. You kind of gotta have that. That attitude is what got him where he is. The reason why he took the game and shot against Golden State and not the other boy. But shout out to Vod because he told me about this. We were talking about this last night, as a matter of fact, and he told me about the previous trade, and he was saying that it's been speculated that Dan Gilbert might have unintentionally or intentionally, being that Dan Gilbert is who he is, once Kyrie found out about the trade, he kind of threw LeBron and them under the bus. Like, oh yeah, that's what LeBron wanted. So we don't know how much of this is true, or even if any of it is true. But the fact is that we all know that when you play with LeBron James, he's going to get all the credit when y'all win, and you're going to get all the blame when y'all don't win. So yeah, I can only see with certain individuals of his talent level dealing with that for so long. Especially when you have other options. That's part. I mean, it's the same thing. Like Pippen didn't really get appreciated until everything was over with. You know what I mean? Like, so that's just part of it. I mean, you're playing with a guy who, it is what it is, man. But here's the difference between Pippen though. Pippen never. Yeah, Pippen wasn't taking that last shot. And Pippen also didn't. Because he wasn't given an opportunity because they called it for Kukoc, but that's either here or there. Pippen. Pippen. In my LeVar Ball voice, Pippen stayed in his lane. Like he recognized, like, yo, I'm playing with a great, so I'm just gonna ride this because, it's gonna help me get a private jet. So, in Kyrie's eyes, I'm not a Pippen. I'm not about sitting here trying to be, part of this squad. I want my own squad. I mean, I want the flat Earth gang. You know what I'm saying? So his grandpa was the GOAT. So and his dad was a Mamba. So he's not built like that. Like you see how Bull carries himself. He whether he is or not, that's not what I'm arguing. He believes that when he steps on the court, he's the best dude on the court. He believes that. Yeah. Plus Kyrie down with Jelly Fam too. So. It is what it is, man. You gotta respect the movement. But it's interesting to see how. It's funny that we're even still talking about this, right? So we're in the middle of the season, we're still talking about this. I got a couple minutes left. I'll ask you guys a question though. There's a lot of talented NBA rookies this season, man. Like some rookies are putting up big numbers, man. This Joker in Utah though is something special. So now there's like arguments whether he'll be the rookie of the year. Or Benjamin Simmons here in Philadelphia, who's still like, some people are trying to see whether he hit a wall or not because his last couple of games he hasn't been as aggressive or put up the numbers he was in the beginning.
We made decisions after the next minute.
But here's the thing, though. Ben Ben Simmons' bad games be like 10, 11, and 10 though. Like, so
and that's Lonzo's good game.
Yo, so it's interesting. Well, Lonzo's not even in this discussion. Like, he ain't nowhere near to be found because technically speaking, Lonzo's not even the best.
Stats, he would already be the Rookie of the Year if he was having Ben Simmons.
Absolutely.
Right
if
now.
Lonzo Ball had Ben Simmons stats, they would have crowned him already. You know what I'm saying? Rather than this Green. But listen though, because technically speaking, Lonzo's not even the best rookie on the Lakers. If you look at the points per game, right? If you look at points per game for the rookies, Donovan Mitchell leads all rookies at 18.3 a game. Do you guys know who number 2 is?
Tatum.
Who? Kuzma.
The King, Kyle Kuzma. He putting up 17.5 per game. He's averaging 17.5 per game. And Ben Simmons is third at 16.9 per game.
You did just set me up for that. You gave me the layup and I
you definitely I threw the oop. You definitely instead of dunking it, you try to be pretty and jelly famine and you missed the jelly, man. So.
I was like Charles Smith on the block. Oh, my bad, yo.
Alonzo Ball's averaging 10 points a game, but what do you guys think about this joke with Donovan Mitchell though? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, like I knew who he was and I knew he was good. I didn't know he was this good.
I have no clue who Ock is.
I saw him play one time, though.
I saw Ock play twice. Actually, once if you combine one half and the second half. I'm impressed, but I'm not.
Here's what I'm impressed at.
With his
I've seen Ock play a couple times, and it's to the point where I'll click on a Utah game just to see him at this point, which is kind of weird.
Wow.
But I'm gonna tell you why I'm impressed with Ock. I'm impressed with Ock because he's clearly the leader of the team as a rookie. Like he's running things. Like I don't know what they're gonna do to kind of like as he progresses in his career to try to like put cats around him. Like and I see him play at Louisville, but he's one of these guys where when you watch him play at college, it's like hey, he's good. He could play in the league. But then when they get to the next level, it's like this game is more suited to his skill set. So you start seeing things you didn't even see in college. This dude is nice. He's dumb nice. Like whether I don't know if he'll win because like Ben could pick it up and like easily do it. Plus he plays in Utah. Like who wants to give a rookie of the year to somebody in Utah for 26? But I just think it's interesting because now we finally have some rookies that are putting up numbers because it seems like back in like the 90s and the 80s. When you were a rookie, like if you were a first-round draft pick as a rookie, you were like supposed to produce. And as the game kind of got watered down, and the influx of foreign players who came over, 7 years later and all that, it's like that kind of changed. But we're seeing rookies
Shout
now,
out to the number 1 overall pick. Let's talk about how the Celtics finessed the Sixers for the pick that they wasn't going to take anyway. I mean, they knew exactly who they wanted, and you didn't have to you didn't have to move to number 1 to get Ball. I'm just saying.
I hear some slander coming. Yo, shout out to your partner in crime, Survive, for giving your man one of the illest nicknames I ever heard. And we're talking about Markelle Fultz for those who don't know. Because he called Survive calls the boy MF Doomed. That's one of the most, whether I agree or not, that's one of the most fire nicknames ever. MF Doomed. Not Doomed, Doomed, Doomed. MF Doomed. Yo, I don't know if your career is doomed based upon how it started. That's a fire nickname. That's a definitely fire nickname.
Yeah, I want Boy to be able to reverse that, but it doesn't. It is. I just don't think they needed to trade the pick to get Bull. And they could. And could you imagine if they took Tatum? I mean, I know it's very early on to be doing what ifs, but
yeah. But the thing is though, Tatum looks like he's been in the league 5 years already, and that's a compliment.
That's what I'm saying.
You see rookies that look like they've been here before.
He is killing.
That's like the best compliment you could play a rookie. When you see somebody like, yo, that boy, he don't look like me. He's like he been 5 years.
How long he been in the league? Oh, he a rookie. What? Like he like is. Yeah, because I look at how the Sixers are constructed. If you plug him into the Sixers system,
yeah,
instead of like Covington or somebody, for example, this is they are quite official. I
Shout
think
to Covington for getting the back the truck up, and like after that, he stopped playing.
He stole that money, and he's
beginning of the
done.
season, he was on fire. He looked like a player. They backed that truck up. My man went straight DB Cooper, and y'all can look that up for those who don't know. And that was another MF Doom reference too, because no Doom slander will be allowed to survive. Anyway, it's time for us to get out of here. Thank you, brothers, for joining us for another briefing in the War Room. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, Facebook, Twitter, on our group app. Shout out to all y'all. Anybody who called in and couldn't get through, we apologize. We had to get to these topics. But special thanks to Gus Griffin for giving us his investment picks for the week. Tune in next week. See how Gus Griffin did. And you can also check us out on demand, on our app and such. So until then, enjoy your weekend. Listen. Make sure you watch the hoops, and NFL playoffs are starting. So it'll be a good weekend, especially up here in the Northeast with all the snow. Catch us next week, though. Be sure to catch all of our conversations on Facebook and Twitter. Everything we do, here's the bottom line, could be found at one place, and that's WarRoomSports.com. You can find our social media links, YouTube channel. You can also buy my book, Sports the Book, right at the hub of WarRoomSports.com. So until next time, everybody, do not accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance, and we'll see you chumps on top. Salute, Phil. Thanks for coming through.
No doubt. Yeah, my backyard is like
6 to 8. Yeah. War Room Sports. Y'all ready? Let's go. Stay in tune to Jimmy. Know the blueprint. Yo. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dev. PJ, B. Austin, Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-140012. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Yeah. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip-hop scholars, pit stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Corporate secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC, royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy. PJ, Stop Back, the Austin. I'm shot. Up and coming on the beat.
War Room Sports. www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.